April 29th after an impressive stint, 9 years as the assistant coach for the University of Miami, but she gets to control everything now at Kennesaw State. And here's a look at their starting lineup. Amani Johnson, Shea Whitfield, Breland Snipes, Alexis Poole, the leader of this team, and Gabby Legister, the 6'2 junior. And we are underway from the WVU Coliseum. It'll be Kennesaw State in the black uniforms, West Virginia in the gold uniforms. This is Amani Johnson with the basketball. A handoff from Legister. Trouble inside, tough shot, rebounded by Esmeri Martinez. We'll see a lot of that this season, but a lot of that in this game as well. KK Deans steps into one. And the jump save from Hemingway off the hand of Breland Snipes, the 5'9 sophomore, and possession West Virginia. So just getting started here, expecting more of an athletic look for this Kennesaw State team, but more of the fact that Coach Carey was impressed by the effort in the season opener. I know there was a lot of expectation and energy as the last team to play their game, but you can't take that stuff for granted, obviously.
No, and they set the tone immediately with the full court press. You could feel the energy. The guards really set the tone. They were active, they were aggressive early, creating steals, getting easy buckets in transition.
West Virginia victorious against St. Francis, 86-33 back on Tuesday. Madison Smith will inbound here for the Mountaineers. This is Deans. Around the horn to Madison Smith, trying to feed Martinez inside. As we're just getting started here, thanks for joining us on this Friday matinee from the WVU Coliseum. And Smith's pass evades Martinez, and here comes Kennesaw State. And to the basket and scoring is Breland Snipes out of Columbus. Dual sport athlete in basketball and track. She's able to open her account. Martinez looking to answer, and man, is her shot clean. Tie game.
And that's a great answer and a great shot for Esmeri Martinez. Really has expanded her game to have that jumper included, which is so difficult for a post to come out and have to defend. Martinez
with 19 in that St. Francis game, with 9 of 14 shooting. A lot of watch lists for 12 in gold. This is inside to Alexis Poole. The turnaround, able to drop it in. Preseason All-ASUN selection, and does basically everything for this Kennesaw State team. When you look at on the hardwood, when you look at in the classroom, and even beyond that. Alexis Poole is actually the student body president at Kennesaw State. She leads this team. Black, strong move inside. Offensive rebound, Martinez, and we'll have a whistle and a foul. Will stay here.
And you can see early on here, Andrew, the intensity and the energy is completely matched by Kennesaw State, if not dictating that on the defensive end, getting out in transition, very active with their hands.
Kennesaw State comes into this contest 1-2, a win against Division II Thomas University, 100-31, and then dropping 2 games to number 17 Georgia Tech, and then to FIU most recently by 10 points. Black contested shot. Good defense from Legister. And it's a 4-2 Kennesaw State lead. What are you seeing early, Meg?
I don't see the intensity on the defensive end that I saw against St. Francis for the Mountaineers. They look a step slow right now to me. I think Kennesaw is really dictating the tempo right now, which is not what West Virginia wants to do. Certainly don't want to get into a track mate with Kennesaw State, but right now I think Kennesaw State, they have to limit their turnovers. We know the aggressiveness of West Virginia can be lethal, and in transition defense, you got to stop all, you got to get back, you can't give up easy scores.
And Poole gets point number 3 and 4. The Kennesaw State lead is 6-2. Transition pass, waiting for it. Black, good dish from Hemingway, and it's a 2-point game.
And for West Virginia, they've got to control the boards. That is their strength. You go to your strength. Kennesaw State has been out-rebounded the last 2 games. And perimeter shooting, we know that they can get out and get high percentage shots in transition, but you have to establish that outside game to open up the inside.
Good finish and bucket. Amani Poole was able to step into that one and knock it down. 8-4 ball game here from the WVU Coliseum. This is a noon start game. Always a little bit odd as Black fouled. And we'll see if she gets the shooting call. And she will. 2 free throws coming up for Kari Black as we take a second look at Amani Johnson's bucket prior.
Yeah, and the 5'6" senior, she's a scorer. That's just a great pull-up, great recognition of what you have. The defense is laying back. You got to knock that down, especially in a game like this. Kennesaw State just very active defensively. They're in that 1-2-2, but it's not really to sit back. You'll watch Amani Johnson go sideline to sideline looking to trap, and West Virginia is really starting to they need to start getting used to that and get on that back line.
Good athletic finish there from KK Deans. It wasn't a shooting foul, so West Virginia gets the inbound. Here's the transition. And the Owls get another bucket. 5 of 5 is Kennesaw State from the floor, and they take the 10-6 lead. Magister able to score that one as we move on through this first quarter. Andrew Caridi, Meg Bulger with you. Happy to be with you. And Meg, I'm pretty sure we had this conversation last time we worked together for a noon game. It's always a little bit odd.
It is. Your schedule completely changes. You're used to have a shoot around, excuse me. That's a huge shot Jayla Hemingway needs to hit. Now you extend that defense out. You can open up your inside, but your schedule changes. You don't have the shoot around. You have a different pregame meal. You don't get to go home and take that nap.
Yep. So Hemingway, who had just 6 points against St. Francis, gets the bucket there. It's a 1-point game. West Virginia with 4 scores already in this game. The same goes for Kennesaw State. So a balanced offensive attack for both of these squads. Poole, tough shot, throws it off the glass and in. Poole with 6, and it's a 12-9 game.
And she loves using that backboard. I love that. That's such a fundamental player where you square up and are able to use the glass.
And it's Poole under the basket, able to rip it away from Hemingway. Again, the Owls looking to transition. Magister going to pull it from the free throw line. And again, Kennesaw State perfect from the field, 7 of 7. And they lead this game by 5.
7 for 7. I was going to say they're hitting every shot that they need to. Well, they are.
Coach Poole certainly has her team prepared. And we were talking with her prior to this matchup. She was not mincing words. I mean, she understood that West Virginia is a really good team, and even getting into the details, which a lot of coaches don't like to do. Madison Smith able to keep this one close.
And that's why I mentioned the perimeter shooting. West Virginia had to do none of that the last game against St. Francis, forcing turnovers, getting layups. They have to open up that three-point line, and great job Madison Smith and KK Deans hitting that, or excuse me, Hemingway hitting that early.
All 5 starters getting on the board for West Virginia, and there's the first miss from Kennesaw State. Mountaineers can grab the rebound and tie it or take the lead. Tossed inside to Nyblack. We got a whistle and a foul. Magister will be called for the personal against Nyblack. All right, back and forth we go as we...
Now her number 10 jersey from Miami was retired and hangs in her office. She says it hangs there for motivation for her players and herself, especially in this new role of hers. Andrew?
Thank you very much, Amanda. As Mary Martinez ties the game at 14. Welcome back into the WVU Coliseum. Andrew Caridi and Meg Bulger, thanks for joining us on this Friday matinee. And back and forth we go. Great shooting percentage so far for Kennesaw State. And there's an offensive rebound and a putback. 8 of their last 10 are the Owls, and West Virginia now down 2. Meg, it was interesting when we were speaking with Coach Blue, who's obviously taking that big step as West Virginia turns it over here, taking the head coaching role, leaving your alma mater. It's a brand new challenge, but she said she's moved past the whirlwind part, and it certainly helps to have great experienced players who are playing so well right now.
And right on cue, Amani Johnson, she said she's such a leader on the floor and off the court. She said there was a point in practice, I think it was yesterday, that they actually yelled out the exact same thing 3 times. So when you can have a player like that on the floor that you trust to lead this team, that's wonderful to come in as a new coach. But I was so impressed with Coach Blue. I just thought that she is going to take this team and this program to the next level. She knows exactly what it takes, and she has all the tools to do it.
As Mary Martinez gets the triple, she's got 7 for West Virginia. Poole has 6 for Kennesaw State. Yeah, it's always fun to get a really high-level, elite professional player to step into a coaching role, but there's sort of an uncertainty there, but she certainly earned her right as a head coach to get this position. As Poole pulls up, leaves it short.
Yeah, after talking to her, I wanted to suit up. Like, do I have any eligibility left? I would love to play for you. You can tell she has that fire. She's competitive, and she can certainly teach the game. She said she's such a student of the game, and that's what she kind of really did in the pandemic, was just study basketball.
And a whistle and a foul call as West Virginia has made some substitutions here. J.J. Quinterly will be called for the foul. And the prior putback that was missed was from the 5th-year Blessing Ejiofor, as we'll see this one again. So maybe a little bit of a message there from Coach Carries. He'll make some substitutions briefly, and we'll do it again here.
Now, there's a message, no doubt, and these 5 have to come out and perform. High energy, be a spark, J.J. Quinterly, that's a name that we're going to be saying a lot for the next few years. Very impressive as a freshman, coming in the scoring role as well as taking care of the ball. It's a difficult task in a Mike Carey team.
It's a completely different 5 out here for West Virginia than started the game. As we'll have a whistle and a 5-second or 3-second call underneath, and it'll be the inbound for West Virginia as Kennesaw State wants to apply some early press here. So for the Mountaineers, Carson, Quinterly, Gray, Ejiofor, and Samuel.
And that's kind of the difference, sorry, Andrew, with this Mountaineer team is he has the ability to put 5 in, take 5 out. I mean, he has never had the opportunity in the last few years to have this many different combinations coming in, but with 7 newcomers that are in and out, every single opportunity to earn some playing time is there.
This is Ejiofor on the ball hard for West Virginia. And up the floor is Amaris Baker, 5'7" freshman from Philadelphia. Matched there by Savannah Samuel, 6'1" sophomore. And we'll have another foul. Quinterly was there along with Ejiofor, and here comes the change again. Madison Smith will come back in. And Quinterly picking up 2 early, so she goes for a seat.
Early and quick, that's difficult, but great to have a senior point guard able to substitute back in. Madison Smith generally plays very smart defense with limited fouls.
Amani Johnson gets it to fall. She is 3 of 4 from the field with 7 points. And the Kennesaw State lead 21-17.
That is such a nice aggressive take against a 6'5" senior.
And gets the takeaway, ripped clean by Madison Smith. And it'll stay with West Virginia after the near takeaway. Ripped out of the hands of Rodriguez, but she touched it last. So Mountaineers will keep the ball here. So we'll see this one again.
And this 2-2-1 press of Kennesaw State is so aggressive. You can see they're active, looking to trap on those sidelines, doing a nice job. And West Virginia still has not figured out the key to getting to that back line.
Dean's back into the game for West Virginia. Ari Gray around the horn. Triple. Unable to find the mark with Savannah Samuel. Big offensive board from Gray. And put in.
That's a great possession by the Mountaineers. You get the skip, you get ball movement, and Ari Gray cleaning up on that weak side, just an easy one-on-one garbage points. That's exactly what you need to do to kind of get this tempo going up a bit.
And Ari Gray, the 5th-year player, makes this a 2-point game. Kennesaw State still shooting 71%, West Virginia at 47%. Another nice take and bucket for the Owls. Julia Rodriguez, the 5'8" freshman.
And that's a great take from Rodriguez, but you can see all of Kennesaw State's guards, they are straight line driving to the basket. There is no, moving around or dribbling around. It is 1-2 punch down the line.
Deans with the hesitation and the drive and the foul drawn. 13.5 seconds left here in quarter number 1. Owls by 4. Free throws coming up for the Mountaineers as 2 substitutions to be made. Nye Black in for West Virginia, and Yamani Paul will come in for Kennesaw State. So 2 free throws for KK Deans. Perhaps the most skilled guard of this West Virginia group, at least in terms of scoring.
And that's something the Mountaineers are going to really have to find after the loss and points from Kaiser Gondrzik being drafted. They're going to have to make those up somewhere, and it's not just going to be on one player, but KK Dean certainly taking a large load of that from St. Francis.
Monty Johnson with 6 seconds in the first quarter. Shot's got to come and try and feed it inside, and off the hands of the intended target, Rodriguez. Inbound for West Virginia. And this might just be too far, and Smith will let that go. Quarter number 1 in the books. 11 of 15 shooting for Kennesaw State. They are on fire. 23-21 as we head into quarter number 2. Stay with us. You're watching Big 12 Now on ESPN+. Getting ready for the start of the second quarter. Kennesaw State 23, West Virginia 21. Andrew Caridi and Meg Bulger with you. And already, Coach Carey tooling with his lineup. The Mountaineers switching, matching, mashing things up. Here's a look at the newcomers on this West Virginia team, Meg.
Yeah, lots of freshmen, lots of transfers right now. We've already gotten to see Quinterly in the game as a freshman. Samuel out there right now, another true freshman. So West Virginia really able to get some newcomers in there, but that's the other thing that kind of frustrates him, and probably fortunate that he had that 2 weeks of extra practice rather than starting a game early to really implement some of the things he wants to do offensively and defensively.
Kari Nyblack winning a foul call there. Some great opportunities underneath, but it stays with West Virginia. Post-game against St. Francis, it was interesting because as Mary Martinez was telling you that, you know, it was a late start to the season, right? But she also said that we probably needed that a little bit.
Yeah, and that's great recognition of her. Sometimes you want to complain about that extra week, but they recognized, hey, we have a lot of new girls that are going to get a lot of minutes. We need to get execution down before we start this first game, and you could see how they came out.
Never enough time to prepare, but Kennesaw State has the lead in this game. They're shooting 73%. Monty Johnson with 7 points in this game. Good stand-up defense there from Kari Nyblack, denying Princess Harden. Nyblack again. Cross court from Dean to Smith. Good ball movement from West Virginia. Ari Gray left it short. Good move, but couldn't finish. Rebounds. West Virginia has doubled up Kennesaw State 12-6, but the looks have been clean for the Owls. They haven't had to use their second chance opportunities. Another opportunity for Harden goes awry. She'll chase it down. Snipes will reset, shot clock at 10. Left wide open. And West Virginia not punished. Smith looking for Dean's, pressure on her back, and she'll draw the foul. It's Princess Harden. We'll see that one again.
West Virginia dodges a bullet on the defensive end, but great recognition of Madison Smith. You see KK Dean's up there, but the defense not in position. Give her a chance and get a possession underneath.
2-point game, Kennesaw State with the 23-21 lead. 3 subs for the Mountaineers. Gray, Nyblack, and Samuel out. As Mary Martinez, Yamaya Morris, and Jayla Hemingway back into the game. Just as context, West Virginia allowed just 33 points in that game against St. Francis. Have already allowed 23 today. Not that there is an expectation to allow less than 40 points in a game, but context is important. Shot clock at 7 here for Hemingway. And lost the handle.
That's a great defensive stand by Kennesaw State. West Virginia looks stagnant. You can hear Coach Carey screaming, move the ball. They do a great job of helping and recovering and forcing a turnover.
The Owls have looked prepared. The thing that Coach Blue stresses, I want to shy away from the statistics that are staring you right in the face. Got to understand what a team does well. Here's a takeaway from KK Deans. Mountaineers trying to gain some momentum here. Deans draws the late foul. The blocking call will send Deans to the line for 2 and can maybe tie this game up early on in the second quarter. More to come on Big 12 Now on ESPN+. This is what we got. Men's soccer. Mountaineers in the second round of the NCAA tournament after earning that first round bye. How about this? They'll take on Virginia Tech, Meg. So that'll be Sunday at 1 p.m. And we were spoiled. We had the Virginia Tech football game, and now we got it again in men's soccer. And I want to say it means more, but it's the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, you have to go
right?
with that.
I'm not sure they'll have the Black Diamond Trophy, though, in attendance. Maybe they will. It belongs to West Virginia.
They can just bring it over.
Right? Deans hits 2, and she ties the game at 23. And Amani Johnson has been the player of the moment so far. 5'6" senior, preseason All-Sun, 1,000-point scorer. Poole in and out, and it belongs to West Virginia, last touched by Breland Snipes. So Alexis Poole, speaking of 1,000-point scorers, she came into this game with 1,380, just 168 points away from becoming the school's all-time scorer. Deans for the lead. In and out, rebound fought for, and Hemingway escapes. West Virginia looking a little more settled, Meg.
They are, and that's more the West Virginia team you're used to seeing, fighting for offensive rebounds, gaining those extra possessions.
And again, Deans draws the foul. She's been on the floor a lot today.
And that's her game, and I know Coach Carey joked about it the last game. She dove on the floor later in the fourth quarter. He said she just wanted to stay out there. But that's the type of player that she is. She's going to go the extra mile for you. Kind of a lobby skip pass that's a little bit dangerous.
Yeah, left short.
But you put the defense in a bad position and you draw a foul.
Snipes out. And Imani Paul in for Kennesaw State. Mountaineers looking to take their first lead of the game. Smith gets it, and the foul. 26-23. And the rare 4-point play potential here for Madison Smith. Smith staying composed as we get a second look.
Very tough shot. A hand is in your face. I know Amaris Baker doesn't like it. I know Coach Blue won't like it, but Mountaineer fans sure will.
And the 4-point play unable to be captured, and Hemingway touches it out, but it is a West Virginia lead for the first time in this game, 26-23.
And those are momentum shifters. When you hit a three, granted she didn't make the free throw, but now you see West Virginia applying some token full court pressure, kind of get the energy in the building going a little bit. See how Kennesaw State responds to that. I know that they're active, I know they're aggressive, they can handle the ball, but see how they respond to that full court pressure.
Johnson looks inside, Poole, pressed out, can't get it to fall, rebound Martinez. Smith, Hemingway, and on the strong side, ripped out of the air by KK Deans. Screen from Martinez, Deans uses it, she drives baseline, looking for the foul call, can't get it, rebound Owls. Rodriguez, freshman goes to the basket, left it high, and a rip down by Yamaya Morris, the 5th year. Quick transition from West Virginia, and Hemingway left it strong.
That was textbook transition. The ball never hit the floor. Not one time. Beautiful passing. Got to finish that layup.
Prime opportunities coming in that St. Francis game. Mostly layups. Big block. That's Yamaya Morris able to swat that one away. 5:40 to go, second quarter, inbound upcoming for the Owls. How about this? Last meeting against Kennesaw State, Mountaineers victorious by 40 points. 2005 was the date. Oli Nkasani, 28 points. Meg Bulger, 25. What do you remember anything about that game?
I'm gonna have to text Yinka. Like, did we pass, or were we just passing to each other? What did we do that game? My goodness.
Well, you guys scored over half the points combined, so.
Nkasani actually just got inducted to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Just a few weeks ago. Well deserved.
Pair of Hall of Famers there as the shot clock expires against Kennesaw State. Mountaineers by 3. But ultimately, do you remember anything about that game? You just, 20 points is an average night for you. Yeah?
I actually really do. I remember they were aggressive. I want to say we didn't come out strong. I remember those because Coach Carey is probably in my brain the entire night.
We had a foul away from the play. Morris is fouled by Paul. Yeah, it's always this partially strange memories. We were talking to Coach Blue, and actually her most memorable basketball moment, even collegiate or professionally, they were playing Notre Dame at home, had a chance to win the game with a jumper in regulation, missed it in overtime, then went to one of her teammates, and that frustrated her because she wanted it back, had to be calmed down by one of her teammates, and then after that missed shot from her teammate that she thought she should have had, grabbed the offensive board, won the game. So.
Yeah, I love that story because it was so not what you were expecting after the career that she's had.
Yes. That's why I asked her.
Right. But certainly shows that's her type of personality, It's fight back. I want the ball at the end of the game. I'll get it again. I mean, you have to love that.
So Kennesaw State working from behind. And we'll see what type of composure they can bring. Poole opens things up for Paul, hits the shot.
And that's extremely difficult passing, not to mention the shot over Yamaya Morris, who is 6'6" and long.
two-point game of the WVU Coliseum, halfway through quarter number 2, nearing halftime. Mountaineers looking to get a bucket back. Good drive to the basket. Jayla Hemingway looking loose there on a nice drive to the butt.
Great first step to the basket.
Hemingway loosening up. More of a role player last season, but jumping in that starting lineup as Kaiser Gondrzik obviously moving on to play professionally.
In Kennesaw State, they love that elbow area. They love setting screens around there. They've had a lot of their jumpers there. A higher percentage of their shots are going to come from that area, and that's where you've seen a lot of the straight lines.
All right, it is West Virginia 29, Kennesaw State 25. Hemingway called for the foul. Free throws for the Owls when we come back on Big 12 Now on ESPN+.
Welcome back to the Coliseum. Mountaineers with a 4-point lead over Kennesaw State. So today is the homecoming of sorts for 3 of KSU's players who hail from the Pittsburgh area, one of which is Amani Johnson. Coach Blue could not sing her praises enough. She's an all-conference, all-academic senior who is also the president of the Student Government Association. Last week against Georgia Tech, she scored her 1,000th point as an Owl. Coach Blue told me that when Amani really helped her when she got the head coaching job, showing her the ropes of the program, and Blue joked that they are very much alike. Just yesterday, they both yelled out the same thing at the same time during practice, and Blue was like, Amani, girl, you got to get out of my brain. But Amani is a special player, and Blue is thankful to have her. It's just for this year.
Thank you very much, Amanda. As we get back to the action, hoping that Kennesaw State can find their fire that they had in the first quarter of this game. They hit their first 7 field goals in a row, but from that point on, just 2 points in the second quarter and are 1 from 8 from the field. So looking to capture some of that momentum back. And I guess you could call Morgantown a bit of a homecoming if you're from the Pittsburgh area. You know a little bit about that.
Yeah, I drive down for games. It's a quick little hour, right?
Feels close enough to be home, I guess, geographically. Johnson with 7 in this game. Hesitation, big block there from Yamaya Morris, and Martinez able to scoop it up. Second block for Morris. As this one's tips out of play, it will stay with West Virginia as we see a second look there. Yamaya Morris with the denial of the opportunity, stayed with a play.
And that's what you want to see from your 6'6" post. She came out, defended, didn't go for the ball fake, stayed on her feet, and comes down and gets a block.
Mountaineers looking to feed it inside. Martinez, the lump pump, and draws the foul.
And that's a very rare offensive rebound miss for Esmeralda Martinez. Generally, when she gets an offensive rebound, just count it as 2.
Martinez with 7 in this game. And she'll look to tack on to her total with free throws. More on Yamaya Morris, a 5th-year transfer from Mississippi State. Joining the West Virginia program, one of those newcomers. Expected to make an impact as Martinez finds the mark. Mountaineers by 5, 30-25.
And you can see just in the minutes that Morris has been in, Kennesaw State really not driving to the basket with ease as they were prior to this. She's really, given the inability, just by her standing there, it kind of stops you from wanting to go to the basket.
And a giveaway on the inbound. Missing the mark was Stacey Jones, the 6'1" sophomore, so it'll stay with West Virginia. Up 6 now. More subs to come as Morris comes out. And Jillian Piccolino, 5'10" sophomore, another Pittsburgh girl. Into the game here. Mountaineers feeling their way into this noon start.
Esmeralda Martinez calling for the ball. She has Amani Johnson on it right now. She's saying, give me the ball. I'm one-on-one with the 5'6" point guard. Give me the ball.
And Carson opted for the 3 instead. Owls have possession, 3 minutes to go. Nearing halftime of the WVU Coliseum. Rodriguez, Piccolino, back iron no good. Tipped out of the hands of Morris. That was Poole forcing it. Piccolino again, gets it that time.
And that's how active Alexis Poole is. Just getting a tip like that. You value the possessions that much. You save your teammate. Piccolino gets another opportunity at the 3. Look, the first one looked straight on, great rotation on the ball. There's no doubt the second one was going in, but that's what Alexis Poole creates with that high energy.
Mountaineers looking to answer the triple of their own, and the rebound taken down by Piccolino, and a foul on Carson underneath. So how about the impact for Piccolino? Drawing the foul, hitting the triple.
I mean, and just like that, staying active, you get another opportunity, you take advantage of that opportunity. Great job, Piccolino, coming off the bench, cold, able to knock it down.
And a timeout taken in the meantime by West Virginia, 30-second timeout. Points have been hard to come by in this three-point game in quarter number 2. Both teams are a combined 4 of 25 from the field, really contrasting with that hot start. Mentioned Kennesaw State was 1 of 8 when we came back from break. It is now West Virginia. 0 of their last 4, 1 of their last 8. So
yeah,
points at a premium right now.
The defensive effort on both teams, both are extremely active. They force you to take quick shots and sometimes bad shots, but certainly any open ones, besides that last Piccolino 3, have not been on the mark.
Johnson over midcourt. We're going to feed it inside, and an offensive foul going to be called against Poole. Got the loose limb there in the face of Kari Nyblack.
There's a lot going on underneath. Poole and Kari Nyblack are kind of the same player. They're very aggressive. They're very active. When you get that elbow up, you're going to get called.
And the two sharing words on the way back to West Virginia's front court, and it'll be Poole taking a seat in the meantime. She'll be swapped out for Stacey Jones. Three-point game, halftime looming large. Can either team take a significant advantage into the locker room? Mountaineers shooting just 32% in this game. Kennesaw State at 50%. Rebounds even for the most part. Carson with another triple. That time she finds it. Jasmine Carson, 34-28.
Kennesaw State went 2-3 zone. You got to make them pay if you want to go zone, and Jasmine Carson steps in and hits the 3.
Mountaineers whistled for another foul underneath. That was the 5th 3 of the game for West Virginia on 14 attempts. Nyblack will pick up her first. As we'll get another inbound here. And Coach Carey wanting an explanation from our officiating crew. Gina Cross, Brian Hall, and Carlina Tobin, our crew for this game. And you have a better guess what Coach Carey's saying than I do. It's all sorted. Mountaineers by 6. Just over 90 seconds to go until halftime.
And I've learned, coaches and players, we can say what we want. The refs will sort it out, and it will be the refs' decision.
It's all passion.
Absolutely.
Rodriguez has looked good in this game. And Rodriguez finishes a tough bucket. Mountaineers get it right back. Jasmine Carson, and there's the transition offense that Meg was talking about.
Yeah, no one gets back. West Virginia does a great job of getting the ball up the floor.
So it was Rodriguez scoring her 4th point, and then Jasmine Carson getting her 5th. The West Virginia lead is 6, and now West Virginia going to show some of that press. And they get the takeaway. It's Nyblack, the big underneath.
And you see the difference in West Virginia's energy when they're in that full court press.
Carson again. Jasmine Carson back-to-back triples. She's got 8. And the West Virginia lead is 9 as KK Deans whistled for the foul. Largest lead of the game for West Virginia. And now the foul is starting to add up. We'll see this again from Carson.
And Jasmine Carson's done a great job of coming off the bench, being those extra points, as we mentioned, that they're going to need from Gondrzik being gone. You have to step in and hit those shots when they're at a premium.
39-30. Host West Virginia with a 3-possession lead. Johnson looking to escape and does. Look to run the set here. 15 on the shot clock, 35 on the game clock. Johnson puts it up, leaves it short. Rebound Carson.
You can see Imani Johnson does not like to come off the screen. She kind of likes to hesitate, cross over, and go straight line to the basket.
Actually, the shot clock is 1 second ahead of the game clock. So Mountaineers will hold for the final look here, try and take a double-digit lead into the locker room. Screen comes from Nyblack. Smith goes to Deans, and KK Deans at the death. The triple for almost everybody until West Virginia got that big boost at the end of things. Welcome back in the WVU Coliseum. Morgantown, West Virginia is the site. Andrew Caridi and West Virginia Hall of Famer Meg Bulger with you as we are back underway. So expecting this second half to have more of a fervid pace. It was a bit of a slow start, I think, objectively. And there's the start that Kennesaw State wanted. Shea Whitfield, the 5'11 redshirt junior, was able to get the bucket. And it'll stay with West Virginia as the timeout called quickly, just a couple seconds in to half number 2. And we will take our first break as well. Mountaineers 42, Kennesaw State 33, the triple from Whitfield. First bucket. Stay with us on Big 12 Now on ESPN+. List as you see some other standouts there. Ashley Jones, Alyssa Smith, and others. So is Mary Martinez expected to lead this West Virginia squad? She did in that St. Francis game. She had 19 points, and she has a game-high 9 points that she's sharing with KK Deans right now. Andrew Caridi, Meg Bulger with you as we get back to the action, and Poole travels. West Virginia possession.
Just getting a little anxious with the ball, but prior to that, getting on the floor, getting those kind of steals, that's what's going to keep Kennesaw State with this game close. And those are the type of plays that they're going to have to continue to make.
Mountaineers have Smith, Nyblack, Martinez, Deans, and Hemingway out there now. For the Owls, Johnson, Poole, Whitfield, Snipes, and Legister. Hand off from Martinez to Deans. Hemingway gets the green light. And misses it strong. Good box out from Kennesaw State as they grab the rebound.
Yeah, clean rebound, great box out. And really haven't seen too much of West Virginia inside one-on-one with Kari or Esmery. And you have to give credit to Poole and Gabby Legister for really handling that underneath.
Poole's got it. Feed Legister. Can't get it to fall, but will go to the line for 2 free throws with 7 on the shot clock. So it's Kennesaw State trying to dig into this West Virginia lead. It was 12 at the half. They hit a 3. And now they can make this a 7-point game. Legister with 4 points in this contest. Gets the first. 6'2" senior from Bridgeville, Pennsylvania. Gets them both. 7-point game here at the WVU Coliseum. Good split from Madison Smith. Hemingway tried to reverse things. Martinez. Madison Smith to the foul line. Contested jumper. Up, no good. Offensive board, Martinez. Escapes out of danger. And the shot clock is fresh. 2 minutes into quarter number 3. Shot clock at 10. Nyblack left open. Can't get it to fall. Back iron missed. Johnson grabs the rebound. Quick transition up the floor, but a little bit out of reach and out of bounds. West Virginia possession. Looking for Shea Whitfield. This is really anybody's game, Meg, at this point in the game.
Absolutely. I mean, 7 points, the way that this game has gone, can happen in about 45 seconds a minute. There's so much back and forth, and you see how difficult every shot is. Everyone is shooting a contested shot. Rebounds are tough to get.
Madison Smith bricked it off the left side. Kennesaw State was leading after quarter number 1, 23-21. Then the Mountaineers outscored the Owls 21-7 in the second quarter. 8 of those final points coming in the last minute, 12 seconds.
And you really have never felt that one team or the other is establishing momentum or taking over. It's really been a back and forth scenario.
Smith gets the rebound under pressure and finally gets that foul that she wants. They will get Poole for the personal. Third on 10 in black, and now Coach Blue will have to make a substitution. Stacey Jones, the sophomore, will enter, and Poole comes out.
And that really hurts for Kennesaw State. Poole is so active. She creates such chaos in the paint, making Nyblack and Martinez work so hard for everything they get. That's a very big challenge for Kennesaw State to face now inside.
And Deans just had that toe out of bounds. And back to Poole. Probably will finish her career as the leading scorer in Kennesaw State history, but has not shown the scoring prowess in this game, as she just has 6 points and 3 personal fouls. 7 minutes to go, 7-point game. Rodriguez looks to feed it inside, left it short. Carson looking for the takeaway. Body's on the floor, loose ball picked up. Jones poked loose by Nyblack, and out of bounds. It'll stay with the Owls.
I mean, that entire last 10 seconds is kind of how this game has gone.
Yeah.
Bounces going one way, someone diving on the floor, you don't dive on the floor, turnover, it's out of bounds. I mean, just nothing has been extremely smooth.
So it'll stay with the Owls. Kennesaw State without a basket in the last 3 minutes. They're in quarter number 3. Next one seeming to loom large here in a 7-point game. Imani Paul, the freshman, will try it. At the depth, and it's tipped back at the rim, nearly swirled in, and the rebound taken down by Mary Martinez. 3-on-2, Madison Smith. Martinez gets it to fall.
I mean, that's a beautiful pass.
And a foul off the inbound. Madison Smith will pick up another, and as Mary Martinez with 11 points now in the game. That is a game high. And Martinez with her 16th career double-double to go along with her 11 rebounds, seemingly out of nowhere.
It really is. She's done that very quietly, but she's had to work for each and every rebound.
And the 2 dropped in for Kennesaw State from Whitfield. And Jasmine Carson with another triple. That'll be her 3rd. 47-37, the Mountaineer lead back to 10.
And talking with Coach Carey before the game, that's kind of where they are looking to establish who is going to come in, who can hit shots from the outside. It can't just be KK Deans all the time. And Jasmine Carson doing a really nice job tonight of hitting those wide open shots when she has them.
And a blocking call against Nyblack underneath. Great first step in penetration from Shea Whitfield. Transferring after 2 seasons at Winthrop. And averaged 11 last season for Kennesaw State, as we'll see this one again. That'll be the 2nd on Nyblack, team 3rd. Quick inbound. Nyblack making it difficult, but Kennesaw State chases it down. 5.5 to go, quarter number 3. Fed inside, pushed back out. Short 2. Off the glass and nothing else. Rebound from the guards, Deans. Full head of steam up the floor. KK Deans changes the angle and one. KK Deans. Aggressive all the way, had one thought in her mind and will go to the line for the +1.
That's a great take from KK Deans. Eyes up the entire time. No one steps into the lane. You keep going to the basket. Adjusts her body perfectly, as you mentioned, Andrew. Squares up to the basket, looking for the and one.
And a bit of a half commit there from Imani Paul, who picks up the foul. Just kind of took a swipe. You're going to foul. You got to foul. West Virginia's lead back to 12. And it's 13 with the and one free throw. KK Deans now with 12 in the game. Halfway through quarter number 3. West Virginia was the last team to play a game in all of college basketball. And this is number 2 for them. This is game 4 for Kennesaw State. And that one's worth 3 for Amani Johnson. She's got 10 now, and the lead is cut to 10.
And she has been handling all of the pressure for Kennesaw State the entire game, handling the ball, setting things up. She never looks tired. She never looks uneasy. So to be able to handle that pressure and step in and shoot that 3 with ease.
Martinez will pick up the offensive foul, just a little out of control. And she charged down the elbow. All right, West Virginia 50, Kennesaw State 40. Don't go away. It's going to be close the entire way on Big 12 Now on ESPN+. West Virginia by 10 points, 50-40, as we move on through our third quarter here at the WVU Coliseum. And West Virginia with a big inside game. That's the focus as we look at the contributors here between Esmeri Martinez and Kari Nyablak, a presence in the post. You see Esmeri's numbers. She's got 17 career double-doubles now, and also Kari Nyablak, 5th in WVU history with 148 career blocks. So Nyablak really is not going to stand out statistically, but she will chip in defensively, and West Virginia will lean on that and just expect the athleticism and quickness from their guards.
Yeah, they're such a great 1-2 punch, and they work so well off of each other in the paint.
And we got a double dribble call against Amani Johnson. And looking at that tandem of good guard play and post play, KK Deans with a game-high 12 points, and Esmeri Martinez with 11, including that double-double. There is Esmeri on the bench, and KK Deans is on the near side of your screen here. Calls for the reverse.
State, I'm sorry, Andrew, goes back to that 2-3 zone. Be interesting to see how West Virginia responds to that, if they can shoot their way out or find a way inside the paint.
Ari Gray gets it to fall, banks it in.
All right, just have your big step out and hit a bank shot then. Never mind.
Casually.
Forget everything else I said.
Well, there are certainly outliers in the game of basketball. Lead is back to 12 for West Virginia. Bit of a different look here on court for the Mountaineers as well. J.J. Quinterly back in the game. Also, Blessing Ejiofor and Ari Gray. And a pretty comfortable lead as Ejiofor forces the takeaway. So you can rotate out and get some different energy. Gray. Bullet pass, Quinterly. Step back two, nice, drains it. And a whistle and a timeout called by Coach Blue. The West Virginia lead is 14 points with 3:10 to go in quarter number 3, and a wise timeout by Coach Blue, because if you don't reel it in now, then maybe it's out of reach.
Exactly, and West Virginia, I questioned how are they going to respond to a 2-3. Well, they did exactly what you're supposed to do. You get that to the high post, exactly where Gray had already made a shot. She makes the complete look away to the corner, and Quinterly just makes a beautiful move. That's executed perfectly by West Virginia against the 2-3. And as you mentioned, Andrew, perfect time to take a timeout, get some high energy going. I would not be surprised if you see more full-court pressure, maybe go back to that 2-2-1 that they did earlier in the game.
Mountaineers 5 of their last 5. And we'll take a quick look at what Esmeri Martinez has been able to do for West Virginia in this game. Double-double is the name of her game, and she's done just that here this afternoon.
And I think you mentioned it earlier, Andrew. She did it very quietly.
Yeah.
This isn't one of those games where you notice her quite often. There's been so much activity inside, but she's really expanded her game. She added that 10-foot jumper that makes her so dynamic. She was able to hit a 3 as well, which she has in her tool bag, but she is that X factor for West Virginia each game.
Good backdoor cut and foul drawn by Legister of Kennesaw State. And they'll get KK Deans for the personal. Free throws coming up. Yeah, it's almost a foregone conclusion of a double-double for Esmeri Martinez as we see a second look at that foul. And when you're able to grab double-doubles like in a regular manner, and when you're compared, or at least statistically compared, to Olivia Bradley, then you're doing something right.
And that's the thing about her. You can see people that get rebounds, you know, you get 6 or 7. She has a knack for where you need to be around the basket. And as I mentioned, when she gets an offensive rebound, as Legister finishes the second free throw, she just knows where she is. She's under control all the time, and she generally finishes right after she grabs that offensive rebound. It's pretty incredible.
Quinterly escapes the pressure. And into the hands of Deans. Shot clock at 13. Deans turned away from the baseline drive. Ari Gray underneath and draws the foul. 2 free throws coming up for the Xavier transfer.
She's extremely tough, was an All Big East Conference performer. I think just some learning curves right now, I think, with how Coach Carey wants her to play, how he wants defense played, offense, but you can see the potential in her. She is extremely strong. She has a knack and a touch around the basket, always under control. I think she's just a learning curve right now, and she's going to get some minutes and really prove herself to Coach Carey.
And gets the first. West Virginia 55, Kennesaw State 41. Ari Gray drawing that foul. 5th year All Big East honorable mention. 2 years in a row, can't get the second free throw to fall, but a 6-time Big East Player of the Week while at Xavier. So she's got big performances in her pocket. Quinterly forces the turnover, and will take it herself. Quinterly finishes it.
And it's amazing to me that Quinterly is a true freshman.
Yeah.
She plays very mature. She plays heads up. She's smart with the basketball, and defensively, she is very aggressive.
Some freshmen just have a look to them.
She certainly does. That's so true.
Johnson almost single-handedly try to give it up in a jump ball. Whistled. There's Quinterly again. Tied up there with Stacey Jones. It'll stay with the Owls.
That's one of the few mistakes you'll see Imani Johnson make. She handles the ball primarily for Kennesaw State, and just a really tough interior pass there. But again, Quinterly just able to wrap it up and get the jump ball.
Spoke too soon. West Virginia possession after the jump ball. 16-point lead for the Mountaineers, under 2 minutes to play, third quarter. Here from the WVU Coliseum. Thanks for joining us on ESPN Plus Friday matinee. Number 22, West Virginia, looking to extend that lead and get important reps. Gray from downtown. Ari Gray, 60 for West Virginia.
That looked pretty. West Virginia really responding to that 2-3. You penetrate, you pitch. Penetrate, guards did a great job of getting to the paint and pitching. Ari Gray just set up wide open, ready to hit the three.
Mountaineers have looked monstrous in the last minute or so in these last two quarters. A 6-0 run in the last minute for West Virginia. They've hit 7 of their last 7. And Kennesaw State can't find an answer as Quinterly will chase that down. Home run pass down the floor. Hemingway, nice spin. Tough shot. Deflected back out to Gray and then Quinterly. 4 turnovers in the last 4 minutes as well for the Owls. They haven't scored in 2 minutes. Deans drawing all that attention. Hemingway looking for something perfect. It's Deans.
I think a lot of that for the Owls, I think they're kind of tired at this point. It has been a majorly up and down game. They have not substituted as much as West Virginia's been able to do as Hemingway hits a long 3. But I think it's exhaustion at this point. I think West Virginia has made them work and work for everything, and they've battled. So you have to give them a ton of credit.
Hemingway gets her second 3 of the game. And a whistle called against Quinterly with 16 seconds to go in the third quarter. Mountaineers now with 10 3-pointers in this game. Coming from downtown, coming from everybody. Hemingway has 2, Deans has 1, Gray has 1, even as Mary Martinez has 1. But after the foul, it'll be 1-and-1 free throws on the 6th team foul against West Virginia. And the triple really not something that was there for West Virginia last season. They did that just 3 times. But you take what you can get, and they've got their largest lead of the game, 22 points. So the numbers certainly in favor of West Virginia, as Rodriguez can't get the second, and Quinterly will force the jump ball. And finally, there's something to criticize for Coach Carey.
He'll find it.
14 seconds to go, quarter number 3. Has to be largely pleased, though, with a recent performance. Good straight-up defense there. Third opportunity comes for Legister, and she draws the foul. Underneath was Yamaya Morris. But they get Quinterly, and that'll be her third. So an 8-0 run at the end of the second quarter, and a 9-0 run finally cut into by Kennesaw State. 63-43, 5 seconds to go in quarter number 3. Quinterly recognizes it. Mountaineers got to get a shot up, and it comes from Samuel, who drops it in and one. If they call it, was it late? They got to talk about it. They got in and see if it was called good on the floor or if it was late.
I was staring at the glass. It looked good to me.
Yeah. So our officials will talk it over here, and they want to see if this one is good. If so, you get the and one free throw, and you head into the fourth quarter. Let's see it again. You make the call. Absolutely.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the air when you see the backboard light up.
Savannah Samuel to the foul line. And a probing hand there from Shea Whitfield. And a bit of a no reaction there from Samuel, the sophomore. So as soon as they make the call on the floor, we'll go to break, but the suspense is killing us. I don't know about everybody watching at home.
Not a bad way for Samuel to go into the huddle. A tough shot. It looks,
It's not debatable.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I'm not sure it's close. But maybe.
Hey, you want to get it right.
Yeah.
I get it.
I mean, maybe if we could see that one more time, maybe the clock hit 0 before the buzzer went off, because usually that's the indication, but not always the case. So here's a look at the clock. Yeah.
It's still out at .2. It looks like it left her hand around that area.
So just got to be extra positive, 100%, 110% sure. And now they're going to wave off the cheer crew because we got to get a free throw up. And Coach Carey told the same thing. And they'll put 0.7 of a second back on the clock. And the N1 free throw finally upcoming here for Savannah Samuel. All right, so we just got the explanation from one of the officials and everything we speculated. Poor cheer crew, they had to be waved off. And the N1 free throw missed by Samuel, but West Virginia will take a 20-point lead into the fourth quarter. The number 22 Mountaineers rolling at home. Back for the final quarter after this on Big 12 Now on ESPN+.
Welcome back to the Coliseum. WVU with a very comfortable 22-point lead over Kennesaw State. You know, it's not easy for true freshmen to step on the court and make an immediate impact, but J.J. Quinterly certainly has at least through one and is playing her butt off defensively. Against St. Francis, she put up 10 points, but it was really her effort and defense that caught everyone's attention. Watching that game, she was playing at 100% all the time. She tallied 5 rebounds, and more importantly, she came up with 4 steals and a block. Coach Carey says she's going to be a very special player in this program, and he's impressed with how quickly she's picked things up, especially as a newcomer. Andrew?
Thanks, Amanda. And part of that tenacity from J.J. Quinterly is the ability to get into foul trouble, and she has played an excellent game here this afternoon, but has been called for 4 personal fouls as we look at JJ right here. 4 points, 2 or 3 from the floor, and promising start to say the least. Learning experiences, though, will come throughout the entire season.
Oh, absolutely, and already to gain those crucial minutes in the 2 first games, I think is so important for her. As you see Yamaya Morris underneath, showing her strength. But you can just, as you mentioned, some people have that look, and she certainly does. When she steps on the floor, she's just years ahead of being a freshman.
67-43, another West Virginia steal, but couldn't be kept in by Savannah Samuel. So this is looking more like the first matchup ever between these teams back in 2005, where West Virginia won that game by 40 points. But at home in November, during the Coach Carey era, that's nothing short of spectacular. Mountaineers 49-3 in those games since the 2002 season. Johnson underneath. Smith almost got the takeaway. Kick back out. And the reset. Mountaineers actually didn't even get a chance to play at home in November because of COVID. As Johnson able to get the mark. And Johnson with the bucket. Has 12 in the game for Kennesaw State. Mountaineers will play a total of 11 non-conference games, including 4 contests against Power 5 opponents. as this will belong to Kennesaw State. Mountaineers will actually make their first road trip to St. Petersburg. Mountaineers will take on Purdue Thursday at 5, and then either Florida State or BYU that following Saturday. So Mountaineers get a trip to Florida over Thanksgiving. I think a trip to Universal Studios also in the mix. And I am lucky enough to attend, filling in for Mountaineers radio guy Dan Zangrilli as Kari Nyblack draws the foul. So I think the big question is going to be, would you rather go to Disney World or would you rather go to Universal? And there is Dan the man, Zangrilli. He made fun of my shoes when I got here today. And so out of picture, John Antonic, Coach Carey. There he is, sneaking in there. Hardest working guys in the WVU Coliseum today. Any fun road trips for you, Meg, over your career? Did you go anywhere fun like that?
We went my freshman year when my sister was a senior, Virgin Islands for Thanksgiving. It was awesome. Actually, then we went to Australia. So yes, I'd say we did. We had, if those are considered road trips, yes, they were awesome.
Inbound foul called against KK Deans. And that'll be her fourth personal. So you play the style if you're West Virginia, aggressive, pressing, trying to get those takeaways. That is the risk that you run. Will not harm themselves in this game. Again, Madison Smith will pick up her second personal. That'll be the second team foul.
Yeah, just gotta be careful. So many times they're so quick on the ball, but you get that arm in there, you stick it down. I mean, you just gotta have those hands out, quick feet.
5-second call against Snipes, so West Virginia gets possession back. More of that non-conference schedule for the Mountaineers. So you go to St. Pete, and you get those 2 games in, and then you're at Kentucky. That'll be a big one. Finally, you come home against Charlotte, and then a 3-game road trip following that Charlotte game. James Madison, South Florida, and then Michigan State on December 21st. So Mountaineers will be a busy bunch on the road in the month of December. Carson, quick release. Jasmine Carson again. Her 4th triple of the game, 72-45.
And that's not surprising. Before today's game, before St. Francis, she is the first one on the floor. She has headphones on, and she's just getting shots up constantly. And that's what shooters do. You get reps, you get shots up, and paying dividends for her in the game.
I think there was a check whether Carson's feet were out of bounds along that end line, but call stands. Mountaineers 72, Owls 45. And Nyblack getting on the floor and calls the timeout with 7:47 to go in the 4th quarter. So Mountaineers cruising in this one, 72-45, number 22, West Virginia in firm control. We'll step aside. Stay with us on Big 12 Now on ESPN+. More to come on Big 12 Now on ESPN+. Women's basketball coming up against Radford on Sunday at 2, and then men's basketball next Friday. Eastern Kentucky, 7 p.m. tip. Mountaineers will return home, and you can only see that on Big 12 Now on ESPN+. If you're seeing it now, that means you already have it, but tell your friends. We like working. There's Jasmine Carson. She has snuck ahead to leading West Virginia in scoring in this game. She is 5 of 6 from the floor, 4 of 5 from 3. You want to talk about an efficient performance. That is Jasmine Carson. She's got 14 points, 3 Mountaineers in double figures. You might have 5 finish over 10 points or more when this is all said and done. We're back to the action. Offensive foul against Nyblack. We'll send it the other way. Mountaineers still comfortably leading in this game, though, 72-45.
Get a look at what the refs were seeing. I thought that Kennesaw State may have been moving, but maybe a dip of the shoulder there too much from Nyblack.
Yeah, enough for sure. Monty Johnson in this game has 12 points, 5 of 10 shooting, leading Kennesaw State in scoring. Monty Paul, hand off to Snipes, and a travel. So we'll see what the final 7 minutes and change bring for West Virginia. Physical for 40 is the focus for Coach Carey. That's his general philosophy. You got to play all 40 minutes, and that's a process. That's a high-level skill and a high-level expectation, so to speak, because it is difficult to give your best for all 40 minutes. West Virginia, though, objectively did not do that in the first couple minutes.
No, and I think they would all agree. And it's just a difficult thing as a coach to get the players to understand how you have to value possessions. You think you can take 1 or 2 off, as you see the turnaround jumper from Martinez, but starting to understand just how important and crucial and each possession is, when everyone buys into that, you really notice the difference in the team and the chemistry and how you approach each game.
Poole takes Martinez to the bucket and draws the foul. So 2 free throws.
I like that matchup. I like Poole going at Martinez. She thinks she's straight up. Poole just attacks her.
Poole at 6'2", Martinez at 6'2". Big, athletic, fast-moving players.
And both very under control, which I love.
Poole with just 6 points in this game for Kennesaw State. Really quiet performance compared to her regular contributions. And a career-high 29 points against Liberty last season. Also had 18 rebounds against Middle Georgia back in 2017. And we get a whistle, and that free throw will be wiped out, as Kari Nyblack pointed out the fact that Shea Whitfield's toe had actually crossed that line, so no second opportunity.
And that's tough, too, because when it's your own teammate, you kind of know their routine at the line, so you don't get pulled too often, but Whitfield just a little too quick. I think she wanted to get that offensive rebound over Nyblack.
It's early in the season. Hemingway to Nyblack. I'll call that a pass.
That's just great positioning on that weak side. Great footwork to come back over to the left and finish.
Mountaineers by 31 points here at the WVU Coliseum. And Nyblack denies Johnson.
And Nyblack came out of nowhere, because from this angle, Monty Johnson makes a great move, almost like a no-look to the corner. And Nyblack just comes from behind and times it so well.
Yep.
No body, no contact there, just a clean block.
Paul gets a bucket on the other end. And fouled is West Virginia's Yamaya Morse. Team foul number 2 on Kennesaw State, so the inbound coming up. Kari Nyblack in the top 5 of blocks in school history at West Virginia. And Nyblack and Martinez have taken a seat. So get some different players, some reps. West Virginia will play Radford here on Sunday on Big 12 Now on ESPN+. And the coming up schedule for Kennesaw State, you get Chattanooga on the 23rd, Hofstra, and then at Mercer. This is a difficult non-conference portion of the schedule for Kennesaw State as well. They're testing themselves against the best. You got a really experienced team, 3 seniors in your starting lineup. Nice put back there from Yamani Paul, but that's the mark of intention for Coach Octavia Blue in her first season with the Owls. Measure your team, see where you're at. You got nothing to lose, really.
Exactly. Everything to gain. I mean, you play Georgia Tech and West Virginia in a span of a few weeks early on in the season. That's exactly right. Morris goes hard to the floor, but back up. That's what you like to see. But that's exactly right. She wants to expose our weaknesses. We want to learn from them. We need to strengthen ourselves, and that's exactly what a first-year coach would be doing. I just can't speak highly enough of her.
Yeah.
I think she is going to do wonders here, and it makes me want to follow Kennesaw State and what they do the rest of the year, because I think they are going to be a completely different team in January, because I'm extremely impressed with them right now.
Johnson fouls Gray. And I feel like we're seeing more of that for these teams that aren't in the Power 5. It's just find our weaknesses, you know?
Yeah, why not?
Usually you're talking about a one-team bid into the tournament if you can get there. So if you see the best, one, you've got an opportunity to beat the best, but also learn from it. Then anything else really ends up underneath it in terms of difficulty.
And I think that showed when you asked Coach Blue, you said, you know, do you look at the stat sheets? Do you tell your team about, you know, she goes, yeah, you have to look at that. I'm telling them, yes, they forced 35 turnovers. They're this, they can do this. I mean, she likes the honesty of it, and I think she really enjoys the coaching aspect of it. Just really incredible, and Kennesaw State is very lucky to have her.
2-on-1. Imani Paul. Quinterly lets her have it. 78-51. We are past the halfway mark in our final quarter. Mountaineers comfortably leading in this one. 27 points. Jasmine Carson, 14 points in the game for West Virginia. Leading all scores, 4 3-pointers. Part of an 11 triple effort by the Mountaineers. And Maris Baker will be called for the offensive foul. All right, Mountaineers comfortably leading in this one. Amanda Mazey's on the sideline. She's got more.
Well, you know, when you watch the Mountaineers, you can't help but to notice and hear the intensity at which Carrie coaches. If you didn't know the score, you would think the Mountaineers are losing every second of this game right now, but Carrie is just so intense. He's told me he doesn't coach the score, he coaches the game in each individual play. He always wants his players to play the right way and do the right thing, and he says he will always coach the game as if the score is even. So, Meg, you played with Carrie. Is he better as he's gotten older, or is he still just as intense? Like, what's your thought?
That is a great question. Thank you, Amanda.
That really is, because we joke around as former players and we tell him he's gotten so soft. We say you hand out high fives now when they come on the bench. Like, you used to make smart comments to me when I walked by, or did it, you know, the scary smile when he does that. But no, he's still just as every bit of intense as he used to be, and respect that so much of him. Is you coach the game, you want to get better. You don't want to say, good job, girls, we won by X amount, and, you know, now let's move on to the next one. You're coaching for that big win. You're coaching to win against Baylor. So you got to love that. He's still intense, but I'm going to say, I have to say this just because that's our personalities. He's gotten soft.
Well, that's the typical quote, right? It's like when you ask your parents about their parents.
Exactly.
They're like, you should have seen him X number of years ago.
Exactly.
So I guess it's
walking
just being
uphill to school both ways.
Maybe that's just the effect of being a grandparent, right? I don't know, because I feel like that's pretty universal. That's also part of the conversation where this generation is a little bit different, you know? The hard-headedness, the tough love, it's just not as appreciated as much.
Very true.
And Poole with a nice finish. 78-54. She can go to the line attack on one more.
And that's a great attack from Poole. She's done a really nice job. She picks and screens and uses those elbows extremely well up top. She can hit the jumper, but that's just a nice drive, drawing the foul against a much taller Blessing Ejiofor.
Poole with 8 in this game. Kennesaw State has hit 3 of their last 3 field goals. As Ari Gray getting assisted with that elbow right now. Mountaineers 0 for their last 4. And we appreciate that drop from Amanda, because physical for 40 is what we were just talking about, and maybe that subsided a little bit.
Yeah, there's going to be plenty of clips for film tomorrow. There's no doubt about that. Alexis
Poole, the senior back for her encore season because of COVID, misses that free throw. Quinterly, nice find to Hemingway. Possession took her out of bounds, though. In the basket quickly, and quickly laid in. Shea Whitfield able to get that drop. 78-56. The West Virginia lead is now 22 points. Final 2.5 minutes of the game. I know it's a small sample size, Meg, but from the St. Francis game to this game, what's the difference? As we get a travel call there against Savannah Samuel. Obviously, it's a different level of competition, but your take.
I thought Kennesaw State matched West Virginia's energy, if not set the tone, whereas in St. Francis, West Virginia came out hitting. They were aggressive and fast, and I think Kennesaw State set the tone early for this one rather than the Mountaineers.
So this is game 2 of the season for West Virginia. Here's what they've got coming up against Radford Sunday. We'll have that here on ESPN+, and then a trip to St. Pete and beyond. And J.J. Quinterly just picked up her 5th foul, so that'll be it for her. And Madison Smith will come back into the game. So,
and that tournament's going to be very important to see some Power 5 school, Power 5 competition. It's just different. The body types are different. The athleticism is different. You're just going to see more of what you would in the Big 12, and then to come out and have the SEC challenge, Big 12 challenge is going to be interesting versus Kentucky.
That'll be the first big test for West Virginia. Kentucky at number 19 in the country right now as Johnson adds on to her total. He's got 14. And yeah, that'll be a game where just 3 rankings separate both teams, so really get a feel of where you're at after that one. And obviously Big 12 competition goes without saying as we get a foul on the ball. Blessing Ejiofor actually gets the offensive foul called on her underneath. 20-point game, Mountaineers 78, Kennesaw State 58. Under 2 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter. Given away there from Johnson, rare turnover from her. Carson to Smith, off the left, and tipped out of play. And they're calling Kennesaw State basketball with just over 90 seconds to go. So Mountaineers will improve to 2-0. Kennesaw State will drop to 1-3. West Virginia obviously will be fun to follow this season as we watch them grow, watch them develop with the new faces, with the young faces, and obviously Kennesaw State, first year for Coach Octavia Blue. But on the line on that dish, wipes out that 3-point attempt from Amaris Baker.
Get the skip to the corner, just too far outside. But hey, she made it in front of Blessing and Jasmine, though.
Yeah. Final minute of the game. Mountaineers don't need anything. Take what they can get. Jayla Hemingway stepped on the line, out of bounds. We just got to move those just a couple inches.
What's going on here, girls?
Kaya Huff will check into the game now for Kennesaw State as she'll grab Amani Johnson, who is likely done. Johnson finishes with 14 points to lead the Owls. Solid performance from her.
And you can tell why Coach Blue speaks so highly of her. I mean, she is such a leader on the floor, very steady, makes few mistakes, maintains the responsibility of handling the ball under a tremendous amount of pressure, and stays calm.
So number 22, West Virginia, will likely hold it here. Maybe take one final shot just to bleed out the rest of this clock, but 20-point win following that blowout against St. Francis, against a team like Kennesaw State, who has talent but are still finding their identity, but much can be said similarly for the Mountaineers. Meg, your take?
I thought as the game progressed, they played a little bit better. There was more energy. I thought that different combinations showed different things, as Coach Carey said at halftime. So that's going to be interesting to see where he moves forward. I think some players may have earned some playing time, and I think some may have dropped off a little bit. But interesting combinations that you saw for sure, but I thought as the game went on, they certainly just did what they needed to do.
Mountaineers comfortably leading by even more than they are already. It'll finish a 20-point victory for West Virginia, but Kennesaw State does finish the game on an 11-1 run. But business conducted and business executed for the West Virginia Mountaineers as they improve to 2-0 as the number 22 team in the nation. 12 from Deans, 13 from Martinez, and 14 for Jasmine Carson, who hits 4 threes in the game for West Virginia. 30 points off the bench for the Mountaineers in a balanced effort. Meg, your final thoughts?
Yeah, I think you said it. That was more team effort. You're not going to have someone coming out shooting 25 points a game. It was a balanced team effort. They did what they needed to do when they needed to do it and build that lead.
All right, that'll be it from the WVU Coliseum. Country Roads in queue as the Mountaineers will celebrate a victory. That'll be it for us. So for Meg Bulger, I'm Andrew Caridi saying so long from Morgantown, where the final score is West Virginia 78, Kennesaw State 58. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.